We mess up a lot. We especially mess up a lot in our businesses. But our superpower is we don't care. We just want to learn. If you've been following us over the last couple of years, you'll know that that's the theme of our channel. But while recording our last video, which is right up here, you should check it out, we went over our last 9 months in our newest business, and it brought up a lot of our failures, lessons that we've learned in running this business. So upon looking back at all of this, we're gonna share with you our 4 biggest mistakes we made while starting and running our businesses. Because, hindsight's 2020. We can see a lot of our screw-ups much better now than we could at the time. That way, you can learn from our mistakes and not have to learn some of these lessons the hard way, like we did.
All right, number 1, we priced too low. I'm embarrassed at some of the prices that we charged back in the day for our stuff. And why did we price way too low? Well, first off, we just didn't think that our work was worth it. As the maker or the craftsperson, you see things at a much deeper level than the customer does, and all you see are the imperfections. So you don't think that your stuff is worth top dollar, so you're not gonna price it at top dollar. We also priced based on our own subjective opinion. What would I be willing to pay for something like that? If I'm not gonna pay that price, why should I expect my customers to pay that price? And that's just not how business or money or transactions work. Literally, a business is defined by bringing objects of value from a place where they don't value it as much to a place where they do value it as much. That's how business works. We've used sneakers for years as an example. I would never spend $1,000 on a pair of sneakers, but there's tons of people, they're literally called sneakerheads, who collect these thousands and thousands of dollars worth of sneakers. There's a market for everything at every price point. You just gotta go find it. We learned this lesson because we were so busy with work from people that were underpaying us that we ran out of free time. We got angry, we were mad, we didn't have enough time to get all the jobs done, and we weren't even getting paid for it on the back end. So we finally just decided to double our prices to try and reduce our workload, and nobody canceled their order. And it was very uncomfortable to raise prices. We thought everybody was gonna be so mad at us and hate us and cancel their order and talk bad about us all over town, and it just didn't happen. So we doubled them again, and 1 person canceled. That is when we knew that we needed to raise our prices. I know it's gonna be uncomfortable at first, but you need to price your work really high and then spend your time trying to find the people that think your work is worth that price. There's 8 billion customers out there. Somebody will pay that high price for it. You just gotta go find it.
So the next thing we messed up in our business, it was ignoring what the customer wanted. And in hindsight, that sounds crazy. We built what we really wanted to build. And then we tried to offload it onto people who didn't want it. Here's an example. We had this little farmhouse writing desk that we thought was so cool. We had one in our house, we used it all the time, and we thought, surely everybody is gonna want one of these little farmhouse writing desks in their house. So we started going over a system to build them easily, to build them quickly. We even talked with a restaurant owner to get permission to use their parking lot so that we could do pickups for all of the customers who had purchased this writing desk. We put flyers in mailboxes. We did a huge Instagram ad spend. We put so much work into the infrastructure of building and scaling these tables, and we didn't sell one. It wasn't overpriced. It wasn't bad or ugly. It's just nobody in our area wanted it. So now, before we even go into any sort of product development, we go to the market and see what the market wants and what they're looking for and what problems we can solve. We scour social media, we go to conferences, we try to be involved in what's going on in our community, we follow trends, all so that we can get ahead of what people are wanting. And once we figure out what that is, then we make our version of it. So find an actual need and fill it. Don't just imagine a need because you really like cutting dovetails or turning bowls. You've got to find the market for the item first and then build your version of it.
Another thing that constantly plagued us when we were starting our businesses was our habit of hesitating. We would hesitate on everything. Every idea that we had, we said, no, we need to slow down, we need to think it through, we need to get a plan together, how we're gonna scale this. We tried to iron out all the details and figure out all the unknowns before we ever even attempted it, and that really hurt us. 2 or 3 years ago, we had an idea to send a personalized cutting board to all the cooking YouTubers. This is way before COVID, way before they all blew up. There weren't a lot of cooking shows or cooking YouTubers on the internet. And we thought, wow, what a great way to sell boards. If we sent them a personalized one, their fans would want one that looked just like theirs, and we could fulfill the orders for them. We sat on that idea for about 2 years until we finally did it during COVID. And by that time, the cooking YouTubers were so big, they were just way too busy to get back to us. It wasn't personal, it's just they were so busy growing their audience that they didn't have time to entertain our little idea. But had we sent that board just 6 months earlier, we probably could have gotten a deal together. Like I said, we have a habit of trying to think things through all the way before just trying it. And we know a lot of you are the same. Our DMs are full of ideas and questions and stories of people just hesitating on a really good idea. They just need the confidence to go out and try it. So what changed? We got beat by our competition. Time and time again, we've seen people execute on ideas that we've had before, not just in woodworking, not just in the multimedia or social media space, but like business as a whole. We've seen businesses explode with an idea that we had come up with on our own and never did anything with. And that's what's going to happen to you. If you don't execute and start iterating on an idea, you're going to get passed up by the people that don't think it through. They just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. So when you get a good idea, execute on it, try it, do a test run, and learn from it. Let the market tell you your idea is bad. Don't sit there by yourself and talk yourself out of a good idea.
Another mistake we made was that we tried to save money. This concept is so important to us that we're gonna make an entire Maker's Money video on it. So make sure you subscribe so that you can see when that one drops. But yeah, we've wasted more money by trying to save money than we have actually saved money. Probably the easiest way to understand this is with buying tools. For example, our track saw. Before we even had one, we knew we needed one. Davis did a ton of research trying to figure out which would be the best one to buy. He read lots of reviews, basically just scoured the internet. And once he finally found the one he wanted, he waited forever to see if it would go on sale. And when it finally did, he maybe got $50 off from the original price. And after the first cut on that track saw, he looked at me and he said, "Why did I wait so long to buy this?" Because while he waited for it to go on sale and save $50, he spent way more than $50 in labor fighting with the old saw. And also, all the research time he spent on which one to buy was a waste of time because they all work the same. They all accomplish the same thing just about the same way. That's why we say we wasted so much money trying to save money. Whereas if we would have just bought 3 track saws and kept the one we liked the best and returned the others, that would have been the best deal overall. No sales, no research, no time wasted. That would have been the cheapest option. And it's not just the track saw. We've done this with the planer and the joiner. We waited so long, and once we got them, we noticed just how much time they saved us. So now when we see a need for a tool, we buy it. We buy 2 or 3 and decide which one we like best. Even with the Glowforge, we didn't do a whole bunch of research on that. We just knew that it was the biggest, most expensive, easiest to use version of a laser, and we just bought 2.
In the time that we would have spent researching a cheaper or better laser, we've made more money with the Glowforge than we ever would have saved. Yeah, the Glowforge is not the best laser or the cheapest or any combination of the two, but we've made more money by acting quickly than we ever would have saved by getting a cheaper Chinese laser. You save way more money by moving quickly and making decisions than you do by spending weeks and weeks and weeks of research trying to save money.
So bottom line, don't save money. Money is useless unless it's used. So if you see a need for a tool or some software in your business, just buy it, because trying to save money is gonna cost you money.
We have screwed up so much more than just the 4 things we've listed in this video. I mean, you guys know that. You've been following along for a while, right? You're subscribed? You get the bell on?